good if you do. What do you think?
I just don't think I'm gonna be able to, show you shooting, get the bird being shot, watching it fall to the ground, and then, watch you run over and stomp it in the head, Because at the point that the guns go off, I'm probably gonna drop the camera and cry or something.
In a quarter mile, your destination will be on the left.
Nice to meet you. Hi. Camera?
It's good that I'm not going.
Yeah. Okay, this will work. One down. Two.
Make such pretty wounds. The prettiest wounds. Carvings on my skin, reminding me of them. Those letters could have been my name.
Hey, will you explain to Miro about the geese a little more? Whether you're going to consider Canada geese invasive here is open to interpretation. Canada geese in general, yes. This subspecies here that we've got is called it's the giant Canada goose subspecies. It's not native to this part of the country. It gets much bigger than other species or other subspecies of Canada geese. They're native to the Great Plains, and actually I thought they were believed to be extinct for a while. I think it was in the late 1950s some biologists found a small remnant population on a lake in Minnesota. So from that little core population, they bred up lots and lots and lots of them. And around the same time, late 50s, early 1960s, a lot of goose hunters wanted more geese to hunt out in the eastern states. And so a lot of biologists thought, well, why don't we bring the giant Canada goose out here for people to hunt? And so they did. They started releasing them. The problem is, you take a migratory animal from someplace else in the world and just dump it, especially if it's been captive bred for a few generations. I mean, geese learn how to migrate from each other. And that's how they learn the route in the first place. So these geese were just dropped out here. They had no idea where to go. What happens is they'll just sit on the same body of water year round. And so this makes them a nuisance species also, and whether or not something is a nuisance species is a question of, is it bothering human beings? Well, that's less of a concern to me usually than whether it's invasive and an ecological problem. I don't want to wipe out all Canada geese. I think people should be able to have them to look at them. So that's really where I'm coming from. As far as Jeff and the winery are concerned, last year he said the varieties that they grow around here, he lost 15% of his crop. And we knocked the flock down pretty well, and so they haven't been as much of a problem this year. But the way that you keep them from being a problem is to keep hunting them. We want to keep the pressure on. We want some geese around, but if we can take out a few, here and there during the fall and eat them, I think the people are better off, and the wildlife is better off. I see three primary factors that cause extinctions. My real goal is I want to prevent species from becoming extinct. And those three things I would say global warming is a big one. There is loss of habitat. That's huge. And the third thing would be the impact of invasive species. And I didn't really see that much work being done about invasive species, and I saw so many invasive species that could be removed really easily if anyone would just sort of bother going out and removing them. And so I decided to go and start looking, okay, what invasive species would be practical to use for food that could create a motivation for people to really go out and clear them out. So I thought, okay, what's lacking is people that usually don't know how to cook with them. They don't have tactics. There's no book you can pick up that tells you how to hunt nutria, for example. Or starlings even. I mean, these are things that people don't even think about as food. So I thought, I'm going to go and I'm going to find out, how good are these, and what are the tactics that work, and then learn a little bit about the ecology. And so that's what I went into this looking at, and I ended up with a lot of surprises. And right now I'm going to have to sort of focus in on these giant Canada geese as they get a little bit closer.
Listen to
What is it with your hands? Or? It's my mouth and my hands. It's gonna sound ridiculous if there's no geese around. That's good. And it works pretty well.